I want to kill him. I want to punch him in the face.
Can I say?
I want to hurt. Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
But I know you don't want me to.
Logan Paul and George Janko have been in many controversial moments over the past few months. The biggest one being when CoffeeZilla exposed Logan's CryptoZoo scam, which lost his fans millions of dollars. But there have also been a few other controversial moments on Logan's podcast, Impulsive. Logan got into a heated argument with his co-host George Janko, and it got so much backlash that Logan actually took the podcast episode down. And a few weeks before that, George actually walked off the set in the middle of a podcast when guest Bobby Lee made an ill-timed joke. After each controversial moment, hate for Logan has just increased more and more. But somehow, George has come out of everything looking like the good guy every time, and fans are still in love with him. In this video, we'll take a closer look at each of the 3 controversial moments I just mentioned, and we'll figure out why George was able to come out as the good guy in each. I'll show you one good thing George did for each of those moments, and one mistake someone else did that made them come out as the bad guy. We can learn from both George's good example and the mistakes of his co-hosts. The first moment that we're going to go into is the one that caused the most backlash for Logan. It was when CoffeeZilla released his 3-part series on Logan's CryptoZoo scam. Watch how Logan responded a few days after the story broke.
Where Coffee fucked up is by targeting me as some malicious, evil supervillain. That's where it got twisted and hurt the most. It is shocking to me that motherfuckers think I'm out here in Puerto Rico with a cork board, tax, string, graphic images, going, here's how we're gonna scam. This is how I'm gonna make my $1 million this time, motherfucker.
The big thing here is that Logan isn't taking any responsibility for losing his fans millions of dollars, and is instead pointing the finger at everyone else. He's only talking about how he had good intentions and how the whole thing has been hard for him.
My intent was to make the next Pokemon, essentially, on the blockchain. It was purely good. I put 7 months of my time, energy, effort, all of it into this project. And when shit hit the fan, it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. I never acted with malintention. I mean, was the intent to make money? I mean, maybe eventually. Like, if you're running a business, I'd assume any intent is to make money off of it.
We all know people in our lives who have trouble admitting that they're wrong and who tend to point the finger at everyone else. The simplest first step to deal with people like this is to do what George does in this next clip, which is just call it out.
What I need this team to start doing is when you guys take a dip, you gotta stop pointing the fingers at each other.
If you watch the full podcast, you'll see that they actually cut out the section immediately after George's call out.
Gotta stop pointing the fingers at each other.
When all this broke.
Probably because it wasn't very well received. Some people may feel like a direct comment like that is an attack on their character and immediately go into defense mode. So in most cases, an even better approach is to start by showing that they are not the bad guy.
You're seeing it from your guys' point of view, which is obvious because it's your point of view, and you are not a scammer. You don't hurt people. You don't do these type of things. So it's gonna affect your heart because you didn't do that. And for the world to look at you in that type of way, it's very drowning. It feels like you can't breathe because people are already painting you out to be something you're not.
When George took the few seconds to show that he understands Logan's side, that's all it took to make Logan go from being defensive to receptive. Now it becomes way easier to get Logan to empathize with the fans who lost their money.
But from their stance, they go, how dare you go and open up 2 other projects when I just wasted my hard-earned money on something that I believed you would do? How does it feel knowing that you couldn't speak up in time and now you look like this villain?
Great question. The answer is fucking heartbreaking, George.
And because George was the only person on the podcast who consistently tried to hold Logan accountable instead of just being a yes man, the comment section was filled with comments like these, and George was immediately seen as a guy with strong morals who's going to hold people accountable when they make mistakes. The next moment we're going to talk about got so much backlash that they actually took this podcast episode down. In the episode, Logan and George got into a heated argument over George's Christian beliefs. And throughout the argument, Logan is constantly trying to get George to defend things he doesn't even believe in because he says some people in his religion believe it.
You're subscribed to the doctrine that perpetuates that information.
I'm subscribed to love my neighbor.
Not everyone in your religion is.
Logan is trying to frame the argument in a way that is easy for him to win. He's trying to get George to defend all Christian beliefs, even the extreme ones. And a mistake that a lot of people make when this happens is they accept that frame and start arguing that all Christians have reasonable beliefs. Instead, you should stick to your own frame like George does here.
I I believe that you believe in a higher power. I believe that it's not a God. I believe you think it's a force, an energy, and you're trying to put together where our energy goes afterwards, and you're still in the midst of putting that together. I listen to you. Have I ever bashed that?
No.
Never. That is actually my strongest suit in life.
I'm
is
not
my
saying
emotional
you're
intelligence.
emotionally unintelligent. I'm saying I think you lack in that vertical from where you could be.
Okay.
Makes sense?
It does. But also, here's another thing, bro. Like, we've been going down this rabbit hole together, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really do, because I do look at you like my brother, and we're gonna bump heads. You're gonna have your beliefs, and I'm gonna have my beliefs. I just wrestle to make sure that there's love involved. And it's not, religion just didn't destroy families, bro. It destroys countries. It destroys the world.
That's part of his argument.
Exactly. So, but I'm fighting for everybody. And so I really did get hurt when we're joking around. You're like, yo, yeah, you believe in Christians and they hate gays. And that crushed me, because there's a lot of people that I love that are gay. So when you put me in that box, I'm like, bro, I am the farthest from
I ain't
that.
putting you in any box. You are putting yourself in that box.
If someone is misrepresenting what you actually believe, you have to correct them, and this will keep the discussion on topic and help make sure you aren't accidentally stuck defending something you don't even believe in. Maintaining a strong frame isn't just about staying on topic. A person with a strong frame remains calm. You'll see in this next clip that once Logan starts to realize that he's losing this argument, he starts yelling as a way to make himself seem stronger and more confident.
That there is probably a higher concentration of conversion therapy classes or courses, whatever the fuck they are, in Christian churches. Is it a church that practices Christianity? Yes or no?
Yes, but the church
The
that
Christian
did that,
church runs conversion therapy.
So does
I think that's Catholics,
so does
bro.
atheists. So do atheists. There's
But
a
also-
lot
also,
of
I think
people.
that's-
Atheist church?
No, it doesn't. It's
I
not.
think it's
What are you talking about?
Conversion.
But this actually has the opposite effect. He's cutting people off and yelling because he's scared that he's losing the argument, and this is one last intimidation attempt. Meanwhile, George stays calm and doesn't raise his voice, which makes him seem like the more confident one. This is commonly known as the predator and the prey frame. When a lion walks through the jungle, its movements are calm and slow because it has nothing to fear, while a gazelle is much more jittery because a lion could jump out at any moment. In almost every social interaction, the person who is the most calm and relaxed will appear to be the most confident, and in an argument, they will seem like they're winning. Logan took this podcast episode down not too long after it aired because all the comments looked like this. And again, George came out of it looking like the good guy. The last moment that we're going to talk about is when George walked out of the Impulsive set in the middle of a podcast. Now, this clip actually started off with George doing something that I think we should do more of. He opened up about how the past 2 years have been hard for him.
I know it's just going to be like, oh no, I just made the room uncomfortable. But for 2 years of my life recently was the hardest years of my life. I gained 40 pounds of weight. I was really, honestly, if I was not Christian, I'd probably be suicidal. And it was really, really bad. I never told anybody about it.
A lot of people I know, especially men, struggle to be vulnerable and open up about their hard times. But this is something you need to do if you want to have close friends and deep connections with people that last lifetimes. When you open up to someone, they'll also feel more comfortable opening up to you in return. And when they do, the worst thing that you can do is what Bobby Lee does here.
And it made a lot of my avenues blow up. So I'm
It's
very
like that's-
blessed, but I didn't know I was going to be here. So
You done? It was just a long monologue.
He was just waiting.
And let me just say something. I loved what you were saying. It was just very long.
If you instantly make a joke when someone opens up vulnerably, it will make the person sharing feel hurt and unsafe. People try to use humor sometimes to change the tone of a conversation because they aren't comfortable with strong emotions. This is especially bad in Bobby's case because the joke was belittling everything George had just said and made him feel like he was rambling. You can see for the rest of the podcast, George just shut down.
first of all, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Do not
Okay,
touch
my
me.
bad, my bad.
Thank you.
All right.
And eventually he just walked out of the room in the middle of the podcast, which is something he's never done before.
Yeah,
he's-
I know.
George has been under a tremendous amount of abuse.
No, George.
No, stop, George. I want you over here with me. George, I want you over here with me. Chase him down. Go.
Now, George and Bobby have since apologized to each other, but their relationship did not start off on the right foot because of this.
I want to apologize for my behavior on your podcast.
Bobby Lee, you shut your mouth. I'm apologizing to you. I left you. You were our guest, and I left you, Bobby. I will forever regret that. for the rest of my fucking life. Do you have any idea how ashamed of myself I am?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So there you have it. That was how George was able to be seen as the good guy in so many controversial moments. He's been able to hold his friends accountable in a way that they've been receptive to. He holds his ground in arguments and has a strong frame, and he's able to be vulnerable about the hard times in his life. If you like this video and want to see more like it, let me know who I should make a video about next in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.